All right, guys. So Michael Schur of the Young Turks went to what looks like a Trump rally here, and he interviewed Trump supporters, Trump voters, and he asked an interesting question, which is like, what don't you like about Trump? So let's watch and we'll break down their responses.
Can you tell me something that President Trump did while he was president that you didn't like?
Okay, so right off the bat, that's a policy question, right? Name something Trump did as president that you didn't like. So that's like, hey, name a policy you disagree with. That's the gist of the question.
And I know everybody's answer is probably tweeting, and I loved his tweeting for one reason. It was like the red laser. He would tweet and get them over here thinking about all this while he's over here really getting some stuff done.
Okay, as somebody who also loved Trump's tweets for comedic value, that indeed is not what he was doing. He just has verbal diarrhea and has no ability to self-regulate or have any discipline and shut his fucking mouth. So it was a stream of consciousness on a daily basis. Now, it was fucking funny, right? But the idea, he was just playing like 4D chess, bro. He was taking care of all the shit over here while distracting with the tweets, bro.
And no, I can't think of very many things that he did.
One thing?
Let them steal the election in 2020.
Oh my God, man. Holy fucking shit. Basically asked, name one policy you disagree with. She's like, I got nothing. Well, maybe he should have stood up and actually not let them steal the election. So in other words, he should have went full dictator, full fascist, completely destroy American democracy. Then I would have liked him more if he did that. This is fucking insanity.
Because he said he knew they were going to do it, so I'm kind of wondering why he didn't do something about it.
And do you think that it was a stolen election?
No doubt in my mind. I watched it myself with my own eyes at 3 o'clock in the morning on TV.
What'd you say?
Okay, no, that's called mail-in ballots being counted second, and the mail-in ballots skew heavily Democratic because Trump said, hey, nobody do mail-in voting, I think that's a scam, and so the Republicans show up on Election Day, the Democrats do a lot of mail-in voting. That's what happened. There were a million articles about the red mirage scenario. It's going to look like Republicans are up and that they're winning on election night, but when all the ballots are done counting, the Democrats will surge back, and the question is, will they overtake them and by how much? And of course, they did overtake them. She found the answer that she wants and she likes, so she doesn't care about what actually happened. Because you could have researched this at any point over the past few years. She didn't do it. What does that say about her? What does that say about the hardcore Trump fans?
I saw all the ladies in Georgia pull all those ballots out, and I watched her run the same ones over and over. And I watched it with my own eyes. I don't need anyone to tell me it was stolen. I watched it.
The government and the state government in Georgia said that was totally innocent, and that was...
They did.
Well, it's a Republican government there. So I'm just curious...
No, it's a Republican government.
What would you have to hear to make you believe that was just an innocent, and that's...
I watched it with my own eyes. Nothing. There's nothing that can make me believe that wasn't stolen. And they're...
Working backwards from my conclusion. So it's a fundamentalist religious viewpoint. That's what it is. TFG is what we talk about, man. This is what we talk about. And the people who remain with Trump at this late date, they're in that camp for sure.
They're arresting people individually for all of this. I mean, Trump just said it. They found in Pennsylvania that everything we said was right. They're just not showing it all at one time to show how much fraud there really was. I don't know if you've seen 2,000 Mules, but that shows exactly how they did it. I knew they did it. 2,000 Mules showed me how they did it.
Is there anything he did that you didn't like when he was president?
Like policy-wise or...
Anything. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
The one thing, me personally... Okay, what I'm saying is, me personally, the big thing you hear from people is the tweets. If he was to just shut up and stop tweeting, okay? I personally love them. Like, he would tweet, and I know, watch this. They're all going to go nuts on NBC, and they're all going to start going crazy. Like, me personally, like, I enjoyed that. It was fun.
Yeah, see, this is the whole, like... At a certain point, Trump became all about, I trigger the libs. And the people that like him on the Republican side, their whole political identity is built around, I just want to trigger the libs. I have a politics of hate. So whoever I hate, I want them mad. I want them, scrambling. I want them overreacting. And look, that's like, I get it. Sometimes politics in that sense is fun, right? Like sometimes I like to, trigger the conservatives, but to build your whole political ideology and philosophy around that is super hollow and vapid and sad. Like, at the end of the day, that's really what you care about? Let me piss off people I don't like, that's it? That's all it is? No, politics needs to be about what do we do to create a better society, to create more happy, fulfilled people, to bring us more peace and order and joy. Like, what are the right policies? Politics is about policy. These people literally they can't say anything about policy. They can't name a single thing they disagree with Trump on with policy. And it seems like they can't name a single policy he did. It's just sad. Like, why even get involved in politics? Like, just go watch WWE, right? Like, be involved in something where the whole point is the show of it. Don't act like, because there's high stakes in politics. This is real people's lives, and their whole identity is just, I fucking hate these people. I want to piss them off. Any sort of politics just built around triggering the liberals or triggering the conservatives. If that's your whole thing, man, that's just so sad. That's so sad.
Because I watch it, they're so predictable, but that is the one.
Whereas you, on the other hand, you're not predictable at all.
One thing that even like way calmer people on our side are just like, hey man, if you back off that, you're gonna get so much more support. There's validity to that. So if he was to tone it down a little bit, he would open up another segment of the market that is just kind of, Well,
the tweets. I mean, obviously.
This is amazing. So nobody's saying a policy thing. Everybody's saying, yeah, the tweets. Some people are saying, I love the tweets. Others are saying, I love them, but maybe normies don't like it, and we should get those normies. And it's just incredible. It's incredible.
If he would have kept off the tweets, I think he would have probably still be president.
I don't follow Mr. Trump because I like Trump. I go after Trump because I like the way he does things. I don't like very much the way he talks, but I don't care about the way he talks. What I do care is, where are we going with Mr. Trump? And that's the point I want to get.
He might say a few things that people don't always like.
You don't want your daughter to hear, for example?
My granddaughter.
Granddaughter. Look at that.
But, maybe I don't always say all the things I should either, so I can tolerate what he does.
So you're talking, what are the issues that are upsetting you most now in the state of Florida? I mean, I can ask you first.
Just everything. Everything is going down the drain. Our freedoms, our liberties, the mandates, the closing of everything in other states, thank God.
There are no more vaccine mandates. It's anywhere that there is a mandate, it's like a company saying our workers have to be vaccinated. It is not. First of all, Biden never did a mandate. Biden did, you could either get vaccinated or test. That's what Biden did. And then the Supreme Court slapped it down anyway. So there are no more mandates. There are no more school shutdowns. So they never bring a policy, and when they do, it's just factually incorrect, the things they say. And anyway.
For the DeSantis here in Florida, we were open, but we're losing our freedoms little by little.
They say us like career politicians.
Losing our freedoms little by little. So what's your thoughts on Roe versus Wade being overturned? What's your thoughts on 157 Republicans in the House voting against gay marriage? How about that restriction on freedom? What are your thoughts on 195 Republicans in the House voting against a right to contraception? What are your thoughts on that restriction of freedom? You have anything to say about that?
All there is just for their own interests. They put themselves first, and they put us, the American citizen, not even second or third or fourth, and they're like all the way down at the bottom.
That's true, but Trump is no exception. They're all corrupt, and he's one of the most corrupt.
Millions of dollars. How are these people millionaires with the salary they're supposed to get? They were not millionaires when they went in.
They're so close. Holy fucking shit, they're so close. Yes, billionaires buying our politicians, corporations buying our politicians. That's the problem. And then these politicians serve the corporations and not you guys. So don't support the leader of all the corruption. Donald Trump and his family took over $1 billion from Saudi Arabia. Why do you think they gave him that money? Why did Jared get $1 billion from Saudi Arabia? Why did Trump get tens or hundreds of millions of dollars from Saudi Arabia? Why do you think that is? Because Trump delivered for them in terms of policy. Money, weapons, support in their genocide of Yemen, and if he gets in again, it's going to be the same shit.
Well,
politician.
Most of them aren't. Most of the people, there's some wealthy politicians. This guy came in wealthy before he, was... Before.
He was already a billionaire, exactly. That was actually my point. I mean, to be honest with you, in 2016, we didn't vote for him. And we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton either. But we didn't vote for either one of them. And 2 years and a half into his office, he actually won us because pretty much everything that he promised, he delivered. Most politicians, they come in and tell you when...
He didn't deliver anything of what he promised. Well, we'll get to more on the policy in a second, because it's triggering me to the high heavens that none of these people brought up a single policy they could disagree with them on.
They're running for a position. They tell you, I promise you this and this and this and that. They won't even achieve 20% of the things they actually promised. This guy actually we pretty much achieved everything.
Energy independence, and now Biden is closing all of our. That's why gas prices are soaring. They want to blame everything on Russia, but if you're closing the pipelines everywhere, of course we're going to have.
They're not closing the pipelines everywhere. They are approving. Oil and gas drilling, which, by the way, the left disagrees with Biden on. But if they're referring to the Keystone XL pipeline, I got news for you. That was all going to be sent out of the country anyway. By the way, you know why we have a gas issue? Republicans, during the Obama administration, pushed through a lift on the ban of exporting U.S. oil and gas. And now we export about 40% of it. If we just put that ban back in place, then we wouldn't have an issue. I mean, really, the answer is to nationalize the oil industry so that we can determine exactly what to do with our own resources, and we could do it on behalf of the American people. What's best for this country and the people of this country. But the second anybody would go in that direction, they would scream, socialism! So sad.
We need to be energy independent, so we shouldn't have to beg for other people for oil.
I want my country of Cuba to be free, and it takes a big man to want to do something like that, and I think Donald Trump might be that one person to make that happen.
He didn't do it last time, though, did he?
Well, I'll tell you. I went to the first inauguration event here in Miami when he announced he was going to run, and he said he was going to do it in the second term, never said the first term. I was there present. I have pictures right here. So I do believe what he said. I just think he had so many other priorities to take care of that he couldn't do anything else but what he did. He had a lot of enemies around him.
Oh my God. So the thing I want him to do, he didn't do, but I'm going to give him credit for doing it because I thought in the second term he was going to do it. Do what? You want him to violently overthrow the government of Cuba? You actively support that? I can't. This shit is crazy. All right, so look, he asked the question. Not a single person could give a single policy they disagree with Trump on. Not a single person could give a single policy they disagreed with Donald Trump on. Stop and think about that. That is absolutely psychotic. The number of things you can list. The number of things are endless. Look, even from, let's just take from their perspective, from the right-wing perspective. I don't like that he gave out $2,000 checks during COVID because that's, we think that led to inflation. You could have said that. I don't like that there were, under Trump, there were these sort of scattershot lockdowns throughout the country during COVID. I don't like the lockdowns. We now know, we don't think they were a good idea. Hey, I don't like that he pushed through the vaccine because I'm anti-vaccine. Like, there's a number of things you can say, even from a right-wing perspective. I didn't like the First Step Act. It was too soft on crime. These are things you could say. Now, these things I'm listing happen to be some of the only good things Trump did, right? But from their perspective, they can say that. If you want to talk about the actual bad things he did, his number one accomplishment was a tax cut in 2017 where 83% of the benefits went to the top 1% in the long run, and it incentivized outsourcing. Okay? That's a terrible thing, was the Bush tax cuts on steroids. Because of that bill, there were 200,000 jobs outsourced under Donald Trump. You can't name a single fucking thing. Not a single thing. Pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Pulling out of the Iran deal. You can't name a single fucking thing. Jacking the oil from Syria, illegally occupying part of it and jacking the oil, trying to overthrow Venezuela. Like, nothing? You got nothing. Nothing at all? Not a single fucking thing. Nothing. They don't know. They don't care. For these people, it's not about the policies. It's just, he hates the people I hate. That's it. He's charismatic. He makes me feel good. He hates the people I hate. That's all it is for these people. Now, by the way, look, this shows you. We're going to have a dogfight in the Republican primary. If it's DeSantis versus Trump, you have the Trump cultists, and they are cultists, and then it's, the DeSantis types who are slightly more reasonable. Slightly more reasonable. And he'll get more of the normies, he'll get more of the independents, but right-leaning independents. So it'll be an interesting dogfight, man. But look, the fact that it's so little about policy. Go to a fucking Bernie Sanders rally, back when they had them, and ask them, why do you like Bernie? I guarantee you, at least 50 or 60% of the people would give a specific $15 minimum wage. I work minimum wage, my sister works minimum wage, we need the raise. What can I say? Medicare for all. Everybody deserves health care. Richest country in the world. Every other developed country gives healthcare. We can't give them healthcare. What are we talking about? They would give some sort of policy answer. They can't. They can't do it here. Or even, name one thing you disagree with Bernie on. I guarantee, I know a lot of Bernie supporters who could say, hey, his position on Israel, They can't name a single thing. Do with that information whatever you'd like. All right, guys, that's the show. I love you to death. Everybody do me a favor. Click like and subscribe and leave a comment and click the bell notification so you know every single time a video gets dropped. Trying to get to 1 million subs. If everybody subscribes, we will get there. So please hook a brother up. I would really appreciate that. Shout out to all the Patreon supporters of this show. You guys make it work. If you'd like to donate on Patreon, just give a couple bucks per month. Link is in the video description box below. Goes a long way, man. I really appreciate that. So thank you to all the Patreon subscribers. Thank you to all the Crystal, Kyle, and Friends subscribers over on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video of the shows, and it gets it to you a day early. Everybody else can listen for free to the audio. And remember, you can now listen to the full Kyle Kulinski shows on the various podcasting outlets or apps if you'd like to not click video for video on YouTube. Anyway, guys, I love you to death. Thanks again for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Peace. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.